And you can just release your arms down to the sides. Remember that we are really paying attention to the feet. We're having heel to heel alignment and the feet are parallel. And as you take those arms forward in front raise and up, you can have a narrow position of the hands, or you can have a wide one like a human X, and really stretch out, open out, look up if that feels okay for you. And then the other thing that is useful here is some large arm circles. So rooted and grounded through your feet. Single and or double arm circles. Moving backwards, pausing to breathe and roll those circles forward. 5 each, 10 each. Depends if you're using your hand weights and how mobile your shoulders feel this morning. So hands onto the hips now. You still carry those hand weights. Tip forward, so hinge forward from the hips and then lift. So we're going to keep the body posturally aware. And what do I mean by that? Well, obviously, as you tip forward, you're not going to round and collapse. You're going to be anchored through the feet. And we're also going to lift the kneecaps up to the hips, firming the thighs. Now I can let my arms dangle, but finding that tabletop back. If my hands are on the hips, I'm going to lift, inhale. I'm going to exhale forward, or I'm just going to breathe throughout the motion, hinging at the hips. With the fingertips, even though I'm holding my 1 kilo weights, with my fingertips on the hip bones, I can feel the movement at the joint. It is clean and even, and it feels fine. Okay, next time you come down, maybe place the weights down. Reach towards your brick or block, or reach towards a table or a chair or a bookshelf, or maybe a wall. Find a place where you feel a friendly pull on those back thigh legs. If it's happy for you to bring your fingertips underneath your shoulders at this time in the morning, then obviously go to mat, just like we might do in our yoga class, and then heel toe the legs wider. So heel toe the feet out wider, but please don't move so wide that you lose the action of your feet. So please don't let your feet slide onto the outer edges. So you want to again go wide, and then you might want to creep in just 1 more centimetre. Lift the toes, establish a connection to the inner arch, and spread the feet. The other thing that we really want to do is be true to ourselves. So pop up higher onto the brick, bookshelf or chair, especially if you know that you started to collapse your upper back and be rounded. Now I'm literally lifting my head to look into the camera. You will want to be having your crown in line with the spine. You may even be able to rest the forearms onto your prop, and you may even want to let the weight of the head move down. But if you allow the crown to come down, please try not to collapse your back and collapse your belly. Now turn your tailbone, go into that tailbone, turn the tail up, and then roll the tail down. So for this action, you may need to heel toe in a bit. You may even need to lift your body a little higher. So I'm just going to change my position so you understand clearly that this is a pelvic rolling. So the tail moves up and you flare the sit bones, and then you roll your tail under. If you have no pelvic motion or very little pelvic movement in the very wide angle legs, then obviously you can choose to narrow off, or you can hold your prop and bend your knees. And continue to connect to even grounding through your feet. And soon enough, that pelvic tilt in both directions will feed through to your spine, and you'll start to feel alternation of flexion in the rounded position and extension. And if you want to also involve the neck, which is of course part of your spine, then exhale to scoop the belly in, rounding and curling the pelvis under, and inhale to extend. And try not to compensate for a stuck pelvis by wiggling the knees, moving the feet and ankles, and instead seek a balanced approach to your movement. Okay, well done everyone. So do feel ready to just stand for a moment. Inhale, exhale, and roll your shoulders. And then we're going to return to the position. So remember that you might be mat wide or more, or even wider. Hinge at the hips, and yes, definitely use a high brick or a block for this one. Place your right hand onto that prop and draw your heart forward and try to firm both legs again. Take the left hand onto the left hip and rotate. And as you turn the head, turn the shoulders, turn the ribs, just feel how much effort you're making in that turn today. Left hand onto the brick, right hand on the hip, and then spiral. Once you've rotated, breathe in and breathe out. Really, really help to exhale through the mouth. And then just continue, turning left. In the rotation, flow the exhale through the mouth. And if you feel capable of extending the top arm, maybe you spread the hand and you try that as well. But please stay with mindful breathing. It can help to put the hand on the hip first, and it can also help to come higher. So if you lift even a little bit away from the prop so that you're literally on the tip of your fingernails, rotate the spine, firm the legs, and then extend the arm and breathe. And maybe in this position, if you've found it and you feel good, turn your gaze down to the left. I've got my left hand on the prop. So I'm turning down to that left finger and just breathing through that movement. A few more breaths. I'm going to go back in. Softly encourage the turn. Try not to push your bum back into your heels. So you're tipping forward onto the forefeet. So everybody make that adjustment, please. So come to the center of your feet or towards the forefoot toe put. And as you rotate, keep that left hand on the bum or the hip. Or again, lift your body a little higher away from the prop and extend and lengthen the top arm. And then take the gaze just down to the right fingertips. Feel the level of stretch, firm the legs. And release back to stand. And let's walk out those legs. Maybe a little bit of high knees. And really understand how effective, but also how effortful that posture movement can be. Okay, I'm going to pick up the weights again in standing. So level off the feet. Bring them directly below your own hips. Rotate your palms out, lay the shoulders back. So externally rotate your shoulders, draw the shoulder blades down your back, little bit of hug of the gluteal muscles. And then extend half circle all the way up to the Y shape, or all the way up to the sky if you can. Keep your right arm open and externally rotated, and your left arm has kind of come in towards the side of your ear, level off the head, and then into a pure, clean side bend. And we're just going to rotate that top arm into a few small circles, maybe 3 in one direction and 3 in the other direction. Keep your right arm active and even think about lifting it to the parallel position. And draw yourself back with control. Restand. Again, you might want to wiggle out or fidget, fidget, not fiddle, fidget with your pelvis. Jiggle those shoulders. Lay the shoulders back. Lovely smile across the collarbones. Big half circle into the right shoulder, coming to the Y shape. You could adapt this and find a cactus. You could even pop your weight resting onto the top shoulder. Try not to overlock those knees. It's kind of a narrow stance. Pelvis is super level. Go ahead and push that arm up towards the sky if you can. Rotate the left arm out. Clean, pure side bend as you mindfully breathe. Be aware, what is happening in your feet? Have you tipped back into your heels? That will be sharp on your lumbar back. Have you bent your knees and are you kind of sitting down? That's not what we're doing. We are in long legs, but with knees in a soft sea of muscles. Go further into your side bend with care and breathing. Can you raise the left arm parallel, palm up? Have a sense of pulling on the skin on the right side. Please don't hold your breath. Small circles in the top arm. Go forward and backwards. Ground through your feet. And then draw the body back. And bring your arms out. Turn the palms so you're holding the weights like candles. And if necessary, they're a little lower. But do not hunch the shoulders up. And let's go in and out for 10. And as we go in now, curl the elbows, hug a tree. You can keep the soft elbow, and that may help you to squeeze your scapulae more. Or you can go long and hug. Going long, and then as you hug, engage the muscles of the chest. As you open wide, and as you hug the tree, squeeze, but also can you access the additional squeeze of the area between your armpit and your hip. So the side lateral fascia, the lateral line of the body, the oblique muscles. You may have already found 10 of these. You might be on your heavier weights. You may find more movement, more reps, but now we're going to go up and down. Keep the soft elbows so that you find what looks a little bit like a diamond shape. And then exhale and come to the heart, or come down to your hips. Breathing in as you float up. Take a pause, hug the legs, feel good. Exhale, corseting the midline. So this is more of a breathing exercise. You can deeply exhale through your mouth if that helps. Begin to honor the 4-part breath. In the 4-part breath, we breathe in, we pause, breathe out. And pause. Now, it takes patience and self-care to pay attention to your breathing. In yoga class, we are encouraging the exhalation to be much longer than the inhalation to evoke the parasympathetic nervous state, the rest and digest state. So let's just try that now. So we'll inhale for a count of 3 or 4 or 5. We'll pause for a count of 1 or 2 seconds. And then exhale for 6, 8 or 10. Please add a natural breath here. However, if you run out of breath on the counting method, so if as you inhale here, you're trying to count to 5 and you only reach 3, that's fine. Please don't force or strain. Then therefore, if you've reached 3, you're going to exhale for 6, okay? So it's not about the numbering yet. It's about your ability to mindfully breathe, to have a double exhale to the length of your inhale, and to actually manage to maintain that for more than just 1 breath cycle. Okay, I'm going to take a little shoulder roll. I'm going to ask you to shake out your legs and just squeeze your heels together and come into the Joseph Pilates V stance. And we're going to just use that breathing exercise once more, but we're going to change the arm pattern. So we're going to inhale and pull the arms away from the body to a low V or a T. We're going to pause and then exhale and push your arms down, almost like they're going down a set of stairs or a ladder. And then relax and take a natural breath. If you are experienced at breathing practice, then of course you can just carry on and maybe do 3 in a row. But let's just spend a couple more moments on this one. Close your eyes if you wish. Wherever you are, just please don't hurry or rush. Let your arms dangle. A couple of moments of calm, internal breath awareness. And if your eyes were closed, please open them. And know that daily breathing with conscious awareness is fantastic for your health. It's great for pain release. And obviously another super way of practicing is just lying down at the end of your day, maybe taking a few minutes of seated or lying and practicing that breath again. Okay, we're going to come to all fours now. So make sure that you have enough padding and enough mats underneath your knees. Carry the weights with you or decide not to. And you can even still use your yoga brick or block if it helps. So we're going to come into a side kneeling, a side high kneeling. So take the left leg out to the left, toes point forward, or toes can point up to the sky. And the angle of the leg may have to be a forward hip. The most important thing is that your right hip here is knee below the right hip above the right knee. So I'm going to take my leg a little bit more to the side angle so I can feel these outside glutes and outside hip. Take the right fingers again a little bit forward, but make sure your wrist is not jammed below your shoulder. And then float the leg up and push the heel away. Make sure you don't surge forward or back. And this is where you might adjust and place that brick onto your hand, or you might make a fist and be resting on the knuckles of your hand with your thumb forward. So first of all, just lift the weight of your leg. If you want to, you can pick up your hand weight and lift your arm up as well. Okay, we're going to go down and up, but when the leg comes down, unless you really need to, try not to let it land. Pull the back skull back, so no tucking of the chin, no gazing at the earth or looking down at your computer screen. So we're pulsing up, up, up. The mental action is pushing up, up, upwards. Keep pulsing up. Going to go for 10. When you finish, you're going to point the foot, bend, and as you bend the knee in, bend the left elbow and sort of squeeze towards. So I'm going to go long. Inhale, left fingers away from left toes, and then exhale and kind of squeeze in. Now this is not a perfect exact situation, so I'm kind of almost bringing my left elbow towards my left knee. I'm going to reach, inhale, exhale and squeeze. And I want you to move at a moderate pace so that you control and find a high quality. So 5 or 6, 8 or 10, but do not lose your alignment and your mindful strength. You may want to kneel onto your feet as a resting moment. Take the weight of the hands and just lengthen the front thighs a little bit. And obviously sitting onto your feet, being in the kneeling position isn't something you want to lose. So unless you've got very sharp pain in your knees, then please practice this. Okay, let's come to high kneeling and simply try the other side. I'm going to use my maxi brick for this side. So I'm going to take the right foot out to the right, have a think about the angle of the foot, and especially have the right foot in a position where the right knee is firmly surrounded by strong muscles. So really, we want to think less about where is our foot ankle and more where is that right knee. Left knee below the left hip, reach your block away, maybe pick up both of your weights. If I pick them both up, I've got 2 kilos up in the air, yeah? And then lift the leg, push the heel away, and start to squeeze up and away. So emphasis here is on a strong frame, a pulse action, which is really quite a small action, and you are activating the whole of that muscle length. So your muscles want to be hugging the bones, and you're going up and down with that leg. Each movement is of high quality and it is steady. Then point the foot, bend the knee in, feel that, and then maybe you sort of scrunch and crunch down. You lengthen, breathe in, really feel like you're stretching your skin like we did in the side bend, and then curl and squeeze. Look up and away. And squeeze. If you want to look inwards and then look outwards and kind of follow the pattern of movement, you can, or you can just keep your gaze forward. Finding 6, 8, or 10 repetitions, or even finding more than that. And then take a little moment's peace and rest in your seated kneeling just for a couple of breaths. When you're finished, and remember that you can keep going. You can pause here and repeat the exercise. So you can always come back to something that suits you well or feels like your body really needs it. Now we're going to come back to high kneeling. Step your left foot to the left. This time, we're going to pay more attention to the position of the knee foot. So the knee on the left is above the ankle and the foot is turning out. And I'm going to try, I know that I'm turning towards that knee. I'm going to now bring my body back to center as best I can. So my heel may have to move a little bit forward. Again, I might want to use my block. Try not to just slap your knee. Don't grab your knee. And first of all, we just reach the arms up. Take a big stretch here. Okay, now you may have to remain grounded through this left foot, but can you take the arms out and let your body lean to the left a bit? So notice I'm not collapsing down. I'm just going to slide over so that as I go to the left, I'm getting just a little bit of opening in that groin. So I'm going to reach up, breathe. On the exhale, press here and or lean over. And then I can take my left hand to the earth or the brick and come into a side bend here. And my left knee, if I bring my heel a little closer to the right knee, I can let the knee a little bit move over the toes and feel a different sort of stretch through the leg. You do your body, be in the right place for you. Relax. Right side, 90-degree angle. Bring your torso forward. Inhale, exhale, and then I'm going to hit the wall. So I'm just going to slide a little differently on the angle. Slide in. So there is that essence of calmly, mindfully bending into that knee, feeling the hip respond. Keep the foot of the right foot fully anchored. And then you can bring your right forearm onto the thigh and find that lovely side opening again. Or you can take the hand down and sort of just release away. So this is a lovely opening for the left hip, front thigh, releasing. Well done. Okay, I'm going to cast this brick away. Come to lay on the back body. When you come to lay down, carry the weights with you. Look at your feet. Press all toes, inner outer heels, inner outer arches, and do not have your heel jammed into your bottom. When you lay down, you want to have a nice breathing space at the back of the knee. Float your arms to the sky, and we'll, first of all, without weights, just do a little shoulder slap. So reach the fingers to the sky. Feel your shoulders rounding around the rib cage, and then slap them down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, slap down. And then we'll do 10 quick. 10, 9, shoulder, press and slap. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You should be able to hear the sound. And release. Now they're grounded. Pick up your weights. Just have them ready. So I've got my elbows bent, almost like a bicep curl. Look around the body, check the feet are parallel. So imprint your spine, push your backbone into the mat, curl your pelvis, hollow dish the belly, press up into bridge, squeeze the glutes, and then reach your arms up. So the arms are straight, they're firm, and they're lifting away And then you're going to pull down and your elbows will touch the mat and the backs of the arms will touch the mat. Keep this pelvis level. Push, pull now for 10. 9, push, pull. 8, breathe. 7, push up, pull down with those arms, but do not move your pelvis. Now be clear about the feet. Push through the toes as if the toes are lengthening forward. Feel the impact on your knees and thighs. Pause to re-engage the muscles in the gluteals, hamstrings, inner thighs. So please don't have frog's legs. Push into the base of your big toe. We've got a few more of these. Then we're going to reach up, open wide and close. Long arms for 10. Don't let the arms land. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 6, 7, 8, 9. It's quite fun when you do your counting in the wrong order. Keep breathing. 10 of these or more. And then rotate the thumbs towards your knees. Lift the hips again. Go into a strong bridge. Re-establish. Maybe take the arms towards the corner of your eyes. Hollow scoop the belly and peel the breastbone down and stop. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Control and articulate your descending. Peel down another little segment of the vertebrae and stop. Your bum is hollowing, scooping belly. The bum muscles are strong and you're hovering above the mat. And let another little segment come down and stop. And then finally, if you've done this really well, you'll land the back waist. You will land the bum. Take a moment here. Arms are still firm. Feet are still anchored. Exhale, curl, long arms come forward. Squeeze, squeeze, slide, slide, slide the legs and curl up to sit. Now, if you cannot glide to sitting with control, just access the long arm curl up. Otherwise, I'm going to go back into that bridge. So I'm going to come from the seat, scoop the pelvis, roll the spine down, bend the knees, press the feet, arms overhead. But the arms are not on the mat, they're not collapsed. And if you take the arms behind you, you'll probably over back bend. So keep the power and strength. Find your feet, find your breath. Curl the pelvis, imprint, float into your bridge. Breathe well, peel down. Breathe, inhale, exhale, long arm curl up here. So if you're just doing the beginner's version and you like this, just about 5 of these long arm curl ups are perfect. You're going to work really well in those and they are really enjoyable and effective. Otherwise, inhale, as you exhale, you'll have curled, and you'll start to slide the legs away. You'll peel all the way up. The legs are long, the feet are pointed. Let's breathe in and add the arms. Exhale and scoop it down. As you scoop down, bend the knees. Flatten the sacrum and broaden your sacrum. Lift the arms to the eye line. Curl, 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 imprint. Shoulder bridge, inhale, exhale, stay here for another breath. If you love the shoulder bridge, hug the knees towards the midline. Peel it down. Ready to exhale, supine, semi-supine curling into the long, seated, rolling up. Or you are practicing your long arm curl-ups. Now, whether you're sitting or lying, we'll join back into the lying position, curling the body down, or you're already lying, take the weights away. Shake your legs now up to the sky and lift the head and shoulders away from the mat. Walk those shoulder blades away from that, cradle the head. Point and flex your feet, toes, circle the ankles. Let's go back into wide angles that we started with today. So take your legs mat wide. You might have to bend your knees, be truthful. Do not curl your knees in towards you, please. Have the knee above the hip in perpendicular style. Keep breathing. Have a nice linear line between the breastbone and the pubis. And if you can go wide, take the arrow legs wide. Curl up. Try not to tug on your head. Push the skull into the cradled hands. Okay, let's go. Cross, criss, cross, criss. You're going to cross your ankles high up, maybe 4 to 6 times, and then you're going to go wide. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and wide. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and wide, or you can go 1, 2, and wide. Flex the ankles, 1, 2, and wide. Yeah, you can decide your numbering. Squeeze and wide. You've got to control the squeezing into the midline and the wide legs. Remember, we might even have ankle weights one day. And maybe that's enough. Bring the knees in, give yourself a little hug. So as you curl your knees in, exhale, supine curl. You can hold the sides of your feet, ankles, or the sides of the knees. And then can you roll to sit and keep the toes away from the mat? So rolling like a ball a few times or just roll once. Plant your feet. And sorry, my hair bunch has just come out. I'm just going to pop that back in. Plant your feet. Do sit raised onto a yoga block, cushion or brick. And with your feet some distance away, fan your legs away. Take a breath. You can lean back onto your hands, or this position works quite well if your back is at a wall. We're going to squeeze and bring the legs back together, but we're not necessarily touching the feet. But if you prefer that, bring your feet closer to the bum. And as you fan away, you might have found a different shape, which is more like a butterfly position. And then squeeze back together. So we've got 2 positions. We've got feet apart, fanning, more like a diamond shape. Now, if I sit up, at this point, I can hold my shins and support the posture that way. If I slide my feet towards each other, I may want to hold my ankles and support the position here. So take a moment to sit and breathe in your chosen position. If you have a knee that is in problem, pain or struggle, maybe you take that leg out and you may find you can just access the one side. Yeah? But obviously that would be a shame because we are not symmetrical in the first place, and accessing less symmetry is not really the idea. So wherever you are in this fanning of the legs, do find this lying back and kind of rocking the pelvis is really soothing. And we're finished with a little fold. So adjust the legs so that there's more of a diamond shape, or adjust them so that they come closer. Lift your chest and lean your heart center forward. And if you're in that more butterfly shape, press the elbows onto the inside thighs and see if you can notice the response. Keep breathing well. You might want to practice that one again tonight for more time. It's a lovely one for the evening, and it's a lovely one to have in a lying position. I want to thank you for joining me today. It's always nice to return to standing, roll the shoulders, and even have a lovely body spiral.